active exploitation warnings are up, and vendors are pushing emergency fixes. Today's briefing focuses on immediate patching priorities, a ransomware crew experimenting with post-quantum crypto, a critical sandbox escape in AI tooling, and a change to Microsoft Teams that could ease strain on frontline endpoints. Multiple vendors have shipped advisories, so expect a heavy patch cycle. Welcome to the Cybersecurity Roundup. I'll walk through the key facts, why each item matters for risk, and clear actions defenders can take right now. We start with Microsoft patching a critical ASP.NET Core privilege escalation flaw, tracked as CVE-2026-40372. Microsoft issued out-of-band updates, signaling urgency beyond the regular Patch Tuesday cadence. The vulnerability carries a CVS score of 9.1 and is rated important. An anonymous researcher is credited, and Microsoft's note points to improper verification in cryptographic operations as the root cause. This is the latest development in an ongoing issue we've been tracking, and it impacts applications and services built on ASP.NET Core runtimes and SDKs. Privilege escalation in a widely deployed web framework raises the risk of lateral movement or service compromise if an attacker gains a foothold. Defenders should inventory where ASP.NET Core is running, on web apps, APIs, containers, and CI/CD runners, and deploy the out-of-band updates as soon as possible. Plan for service restarts, validate post-patch health checks, and increase monitoring for unusual privilege changes or token misuse. Where patching lags, tighten access around exposed endpoints, and enforce least privilege on service accounts to reduce blast radius. Next, a new Kyber ransomware operation is targeting Windows systems and VMware ESXi endpoints, with one variant implementing Kyber 1024 post-quantum encryption. The group's interest in post-quantum algorithms stands out. While ransomware crews have long used strong cryptography, experimenting with Kyber 1024 indicates an attempt to future-proof their encryption layer or to complicate analysis. Targeting ESXi alongside Windows broadens potential impact to virtualized infrastructure. This matters because if operators stabilize around robust modern crypto, the likelihood of feasible decryptors, whether public or from law enforcement, decreases, putting more pressure on backups and recovery. It also underscores the ongoing risk to hypervisors and management planes. The immediate takeaway for defenders: harden and monitor hypervisors, restrict management interfaces, and ensure you have immutable offline backups that are regularly tested. On endpoints, reinforce application allow listing where possible, tune detections for mass file changes, and validate that backup agents on both Windows and ESXi hosts can't be easily tampered with. Preparedness here is about resilience. Assume rapid encryption and focus on containment and recovery speed. Turning to AI infrastructure, a critical vulnerability has been disclosed in a Python-based sandbox called Terrarium, associated with Cohere AI. The flaw, tracked as CVE-2026-40372, scores 9.3 on the CVSS scale. Descriptions note a sandbox escape that enables arbitrary code execution with root privileges on a host process via JavaScript prototype chain traversal, effectively breaking isolation and risking container escape. In plain terms, untrusted code running in the sandbox could break out and take control with the highest privileges. This is significant for teams deploying AI features that execute user-supplied code or evaluate untrusted inputs in controlled environments. A breakout can expose the host, credentials, model artifacts, and adjacent services, especially in multi-tenant settings. The defender action is clear: apply the vendor's fixes or mitigations immediately, and until fully remediated, isolate Terrarium workers to dedicated, least privilege nodes with strict network egress controls. Drop container privileges, enforce seccomp and AppArmor or SE Linux profiles, and monitor for anomalous process spawns and namespace changes. Rotate any secrets that may have been accessible from affected hosts, and review audit logs for signs of sandbox boundary violations. Finally, Microsoft Teams is preparing an efficiency mode for PCs with limited CPU and memory, aimed at improving app responsiveness. This is part of an ongoing set of performance enhancements we've been tracking. While this isn't a security patch, it is operationally relevant. On thin clients, frontline devices, and VDI, heavy collaboration apps can contend with security agents and update processes for resources. Improving Teams efficiency can reduce system strain, which helps keep endpoint protection, logging, and patching jobs running reliably during peak usage. For defenders, coordinate with IT to pilot the feature on constrained fleets, baseline CPU and memory before and after, and confirm that EDR, disk encryption agents, and update services remain healthy under load. If you manage gold images for VDI or shared workstations, incorporate the new mode into build testing and ensure it doesn't impact telemetry or DLP policies. Stepping back, the broader trend line this week shows active exploitation reports rising and rapid vendor patching across multiple products. The priority is to close privilege escalation paths in core frameworks, shore up ransomware resilience, and seal isolation boundaries in AI and containerized workloads. If this briefing helped you prioritize, subscribe and share it with your team. Verify your backups and keep an eye on privileged pathways. I'll be back soon with the next update.